Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and I'm really excited for this week coming up. First off, in regards to all of crypto, I understand that we have the Tether stuff coming up, but overall, I don't think that's a big call for concern. I hope everybody has been having a great weekend nonetheless, though. Yesterday, for anybody who is out there that does watch UFC or likes UFC, incredible UFC card. But nonetheless, let's actually just jump into the market. I hope everybody is having a great day, though, nonetheless. So when we're talking about the market, it has changed drastically from what we were seeing last night. Like I said, guys, the weekend is where we really kind of want to wait for, any sort of buy opportunities, because that's where we see the lowest price points. Now, obviously, with that, we also have to wait until the weekly close. I'm waiting for the weekly close on Bitcoin because I do think that we could see some very bullish moves on Bitcoin to a nice weekly close. And when we're talking about that, we also have to talk about XRP and also HBAR, which we are going to get into that. Currently up about 2.52%, sitting at about a $1.95 trillion market cap. Now, what I'm looking forward to seeing on Bitcoin, so I've actually addressed this multiple times. If we break below 40K, it's very bearish. If we don't, and we actually hold and we close above 44.9K, roughly somewhere around there, if we actually look over here at the chart, basically what I'm waiting for, or what I'm really kind of looking for, is a close above this level here, this major resistance point. And we could actually kind of just shorten this line a little bit just so that you could see that fully. So let me just make sure that it is on the major resistance point. There we go. It's roughly about 44.912K. This is the major resistance point that I really kind of want to close above. Right now we are battling some resistance at 44K, but why is that significant for us? Well, I think that we could see that close happening either tonight, basically during the weekly candle close to really wrap up the week, but we could also be seeing that this weekend coming up. And the reason why I say that is, or I shouldn't even say this weekend, but Thursday possibly, the 30th, because we will see the monthly candle close for Bitcoin itself. Now, when we're talking about the past weeklies, I've told you guys, and I addressed this in a video from yesterday, when we're talking about the 19th, we do see that we were very bullish, right? We closed above 47.2K. We were still below a little bit of a support level, but we ranged a little bit. The lowest that we hit was 46.9K. And then obviously on Monday, the 20th, is where the very bearish price action actually happened, and we went down to 42.8K, and that continued throughout the week, ranging us to pretty much yesterday. Now, we go back to even the 12th. The 12th was actually fairly bullish for us still, because we were ranging a little bit low at 44.7K, still above a good support zone. But as you guys do see, we only closed at 46K, which is significantly below a support zone, which ranged just lower throughout the entire week. Now, if we could grasp 44.9K, close above that, that would range us higher throughout this week coming up. This goes into the 27th, the 28th, 29th, 30th, and so on, right? But things look fairly good in regards to the market when we're talking about even XRP and HBAR, because those are going to be the two significant altcoins that I'm going to be talking about in this video. We see us, ranging on some major support, and I'm actually going to address that. I'm going to actually show you guys that in this video as well. But we go back down to Hedera Hashgraph, which is still sitting around 34 cents. I bought more last night, as I told you guys, right? I was telling you guys when, we're talking about this, I also said, hey, I'm going to DCA in. Don't know if it is a good spot to really kind of DCA in, because we know we could go lower, but I said as long as we hold 40K, I'm very bullish still. And guess what? We ended up holding, 40K, so that is very good in my opinion. Now, let's go and address the overall charts here. So when we're talking about HBAR, and I just want to, for anybody who has been following this channel for a fairly long time, right? I want you guys to tell me what is happening here. What do you personally see happening on the chart right now on HBAR? Okay. Also on XRP. Also even on Bitcoin. And also even on Ethereum. What do you guys see? I personally see HBAR holding the 50-day MA significantly. I see XRP holding the 100-day MA significantly. I see Bitcoin holding the 100-day MA as well. I also see Ethereum holding the 100-day MA. Yes, we peak a little bit below it, but look at where we regrasp. Overall, when we're talking about all these altcoins, when we're talking about HBAR, when we're talking about XRP, and we're talking about the entire market, right? We see a lot of people very bearish. Oh, Bitcoin's going to come down to 38K. It's going to go down to 37K. Oh, we got Tether news coming on Tuesday. They're going to be delisting Tether over in China. All of this stuff is still making me very bullish, and the reason why is because everything has been looking fairly good from an overall technical standpoint. Things still look very bullish in regards to holding the major support levels. Things look very bullish in regards to all this FUD being, brought out in regards to even the fear and greed index, because when we're talking about this, right, this is what I like to buy. This is what you actually want to see personally, in the market, because this is telling us that we are going to go higher. Now, this is not always the case. We actually have 1 hour and 32 minutes until the market actually changes, which I think that we will technically be back up somewhere in here, because the market does look fairly bullish right now in regards to holding these major support zones. But overall, the reason why I think that we are in a major bull run is because the market looks like it's following the cycle pattern perfectly, going back to the 4-year cycle, which I've addressed multiple times on this channel. But also, okay, there hasn't been technicals broken on Bitcoin yet. It goes back to when we were down here and everybody was calling for us to go down to 20K and even lower. And I was like, why would you even want that? That would basically say, all right, the bull run is invalidated. We're going to go lower and it's going to crash. If technically speaking, us touching down to 20K was a possibility for us to continue the bull run, but I would just say right now, if you actually won at 20K, you are psychotic, because that would actually break multiple technicals and it would be a lot harder to regrasp the entire market back after breaking those levels. So overall, I think that it's great that Bitcoin has held the 28K zone going all the way back to June. And when we're talking about this, I'm very happy that we have held, major support zones, even going back to this original move downward. But as you guys do see, this isn't the major support zone that it actually held. What is this level right here at about 40.7K? And again, I can make this a little bit, less thick, and we could actually put this back down exactly on where we bottomed out at, which was 40.7K. And look at where we bottomed out again last night for the double touch bounce. Exactly on the same level, and look at where that level actually is ranging on the 100-day MA. Now we are sitting at 41K. If we do come down and retest that zone once again, we will most likely bounce off of 41K. I think that we will see a little bit volatile price action throughout the week on Bitcoin unless we close above a significant resistance zone, which would be sitting at about 44.9K, ranging us back into that major demand zone, going back up to the high that we just recently made, going back to the September 7th. But overall, when we're talking about all of these levels and we're talking about everything that's happening in the market, I'm extremely bullish in the sense that things have been holding technicals pretty much perfectly, right? Even in regards to HBAR, I actually bought support. I told you guys exactly how I trade this market. I sell resistance and buy support. If I'm ever looking to sell, which I'm not looking to sell HBAR at all at these levels, just to give you guys clarification. But I did buy 31.5 cents. I thought, perfectly, hey, we're going to probably hold this support zone significantly, but we didn't. We ended up retesting, the 50-day MA down at 30 cents, which is totally fine. I was down 1.5 cents on that buy, but it wasn't like a $10,000 buy or anything like that. I'll be fully transparent with you guys. It was roughly about like $1,500. But even in the sense on what is happening in this market, right? I've talked to you guys multiple times. Let's actually change the color of the 200-day MA just so that you guys have a little bit more clarification. When we're talking about the 200-day MA, you guys remember when I told you we were holding this line significantly here? When every single time that we dipped a little bit below it, we regrasped it, and then we rode it all the way to the all-time high. Look at exactly what is happening now with the 50-day MA. We are riding that. So now, what I'm thinking is going to be happening From an overall standpoint on what the market is telling me in terms of bullish or bearish sentiment, I think that Bitcoin looks fairly good right now. I think that we are going to see a nice bullish candle close for the weekly to wrap it up. We'll most likely get some volatile price action happening tomorrow on the 27th. I know the 27th was the date where I said that we would basically be back on, route, but obviously the volatile price action this week just played a part in that. But I think that we could still see a very bullish Monday nonetheless, especially if indices open very good tomorrow. So I'm going to be watching the indices very closely, as well as the dollar, as the dollar is gaining some strength. I personally want to see us reject off this resistance zone once again, or even this resistance zone up here to really kind of come back down, retest maybe even the 50-day MA down at 92.74. That would be very good. We could break that as well and go much lower on the dollar, losing some strength. And again, this would allow HBAR to really go higher. And when we're talking about XRP, look at what XRP is doing. Ranging on major support at the 100-day MA. Again, the perfect level where I said that we will most likely retest again if Bitcoin does, allow it, which we did at 88 cents exact, which is very good to see. And now we're trading a little bit against resistance at the 200-day MA. Just to give you guys that clarification, I will change the color of that as well because I know it's a little bit confusing having the 50 and the 200 at the same color. But if we look here, look at that resistance point at the 200 between the 100 and the 200-day MA exact. That is some major support and resistance levels that we are in a bit of a chop zone until Bitcoin really breaks out of this nice resistance channel at about 44K. So overall, what I really want to see right now, okay, I want to see Bitcoin break out of the 44K channel, break above 44.9K, possibly even get a candle close above 50K, not 50K, 45K. That would be incredible. And when we're talking about this, I do want to re-grasp the 200-day MA at some point in time during this week coming up, which would be 45.5K. I still think that we are in a very, very well bull run. October could be a little shaky, even going back to the past, cycles. If we go back to the weekly and actually address this, we can go back to 2017, 2018, and see how October actually did. So we do see, during September, it was fairly good. In October is when we really kind of started to, move a little bit more. And I think that October is going to be fairly bullish. We'll most likely see a little bit of a pullback or some volatile price action happening in November. This will be our last major pullback zone. And again, during this entire time, if we go to the daily, and we actually look at this and address it fully. So let me go back all the way to 2017, 2018. So when we're talking about this, right, we do have some pullbacks here and there for Bitcoin, but it's nothing too crazy on the way up. For an example, if we actually address October, so here's September's major pullback. September's usually, slow, it's steady, whatever. The 27th is when we really kind of broke out a little bit, ranged a little bit higher. Now, just so you guys have a little bit of clarification overall, when we're talking about 2017 and even 2018, right? Overall, when we're talking about September of that time, when we go back to the 27th of September, that was basically the Thursday. Okay, so when we're talking about Thursday being the monthly candle close for September, as well as this entire market, I think that this week coming up, right, this week that we're ranging into, could be one of the most bullish months or weeks of the month of September, basically, because September hasn't been too bullish for Bitcoin or even the entire market. But I think that would play perfectly into this, breakout event here to regain the 50-day MA, which we would technically be regaining the 200-day MA, now sitting at about roughly, I think it was like 45.5K. I think that would be very good for us. We see a little bit of a pullback happen again until we go higher. And then October, we have a little bit of a pullback again, retesting that 50-day MA, continuing that upward momentum throughout the month, having a slight pullback again around the 18th. We gain even more strength, a little bit of a pullback, and then we continue up, and then we have that pullback happen in November to retest that 50-day MA again, and then we continue that upward momentum, which will most likely happen again this time around if we're talking about what we're trading in currently. But I just don't think that we will have as many pullbacks as we did back then. But even on the weekly, this looks fairly bullish, and look at exactly what we are testing on the weekly as well, the 50-day MA. Bitcoin loves to retest the 50-day MA, and I understand that that is at 38.7K. I think that that's where a lot of people think that we are basically going to come back down and touch because it is 38K. A lot of people have been calling for 38K. I just don't think that we have to touch that exactly. I think that for what it is, I think, you know, Bitcoin has been looking very, very strong. It's been holding this support zone fairly strong as well, and this support goes all the way back, you know, even to the original move back here. You know, this is some major, you know, resistance even going back to January as well. So we are basically ranging on support and resistance levels going all the way back to January. And when we're talking about XRP and we're talking about HBAR, they look extremely strong as well because Bitcoin is bringing in some more volume. Overall, when we're talking about the market, I think that this week is going to be very big for us. I think that we could see a very, very good week, especially if tomorrow the indices open fairly good, maybe have a little bit of a rally on the NASDAQ, S&P, and also even, you know, the Dow Jones as well. I think that will be the clear validation point for us. So right now, I'm watching the Bitcoin chart, really just watching if we could see a major close. Hopefully, we could flip this 42.5K zone into some pretty much support, if you will. That would be very good for us to continue to go up. We're basically in a chop zone between, you know, 44K and also 42.5K. So until one of these lines is broken, we will see some validation. But I'm still sold on the fact that we're still going to hold 40K as the major, you know, support zone, and we don't go lower. I will hold myself to that as well. Now, in regards to that, I'm watching Bitcoin, I'm watching the dollar, and tomorrow I'm going to be watching the indices. As you guys already know, I watch the indices religiously throughout the entire week. So with that being said, I will update you guys tomorrow on everything and see how things go. I will also be updating everybody on Twitter as well as in the Discord in terms of the weekly candle close. So if you guys are not a part of those, definitely look into following me on Twitter and joining the free Discord down in the description below. But with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. And as always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out.